On the 1996 Camaro, I finished putting the torque arm in it, and then also added an adjustable panhard bar, and I got the rear end centered and everything like that. So everything's done with that except for waiting on the BMR Extreme drag bar to come in so I can put that in. Plus I have to buy some new tires for that one. It looks like my tires, which were quite old, are worn a little too far, so they're done. So I have to order me some new tires. But for the rear for that one, I run the 275/60/15 Radial Pros on that one. But on this car, we went ahead and got the front skinnies put on. The 27s, 27 inches. They measured about 26.5, but they're on. Everything sits real good on the car, as you can see here. Then also we removed the exhaust on it. It had an X-pipe on it with the thrust mufflers, which I think sound real good, but I think the car would run better straight headers, so we took the exhaust off of it. The last time that we ran the car, we ran it at 34 degrees. This time I put it at 36 degrees to see if it'd make any difference. And I also added a rubber piece from the fuel bowl vents. Someone said running a cowl hood sometimes you can cause a vacuum on those vent holes, and it won't pull the fuel like it should, so we did that. And we took it to the drag strip and ran a few passes. So when I was changing the plugs in the car, I took the water temp sensor, I unhooked it, which controls the fans, to change the plug so I didn't break it. And I forgot to put it back on. And when we got to the staging lanes, it got up to like 220, and this car does not like to be hot. So luckily I saw that, and I hooked the fans back up, and I made a pass, and it only ran at 1204 because the car was hot. But I let it cool back down, and then I made another pass, and it ran 1184. Well, after that, we bumped the timing down to 32 degrees, and I put a lighter driver in there, and here was the results of that. So this would have been the fastest pass of the night, but the driver that I put in the car, it was the first time he'd ever drove it, plus it was the first time he ever raced at this track, and he was used to 8th mile racing. He wasn't sure where to shut it down at. And as you can see, he shut it down early and only trapped 107. The car had been trapping 115, 116 all night. So I'm pretty positive, based on the other time slips and this time slip, just going off the 8th, this was our fastest 8th by far. And the car did run later. You'll see the car did run a 754 at 11 in the 8th, and then 1171 in the quarters. So I'm pretty sure this pass would have got us an 1160 something. But like I said, he let off early. But yeah, it did really good there.
Going for 11.5. He run 11.7 last time, but he let off before the quarter was over. It's the first time he'd been racing quarter in a while, so. Nitrous LS Impala against a small block Chevy 80 Trans Am on motor.
So this wound up being our fastest pass of the day, but like I said, if you look at the other ET, eighth mile, 7.49, this one's 7.54, and then it ran 1171. If he hadn't have shut it off earlier on that last pass, we definitely would have been in the 11.6 area, which was really good for this car, in my opinion, because it's only got a 355 gear and a 2800 to 3200 stall. I'm sure if this thing had a 4000 stall and like at least a 410, 430 gear, like the motor would want, this thing would definitely be scratching on the 10s, if not in the 10s. But the reason we got it geared and installed that way is because this car is going to get heavy shots of nitrous, and that gear, the 355 gear and the tighter stall, is definitely going to help with the nitrous. And then we made one more pass against the Trackhawk that also had nitrous on it, which was really, really fast vehicle. But unfortunately, it didn't shift on his 1-2 shift, so he had to shut it down earlier. And here's that pass. I didn't take a picture of the time slip for that pass because for some reason the car slowed down a little bit. It ran like 11.8 something. But anyway, here's that.
Versus a Trackhawk with nitrous. This thing's stupid fast.
And I was talking earlier about the suspension on my car, on the 96 Camaro, and here's a picture of that. So everything's aftermarket now. I got the Founders Performance lower pan hard bar adjustable. With the stock lower pan hard bar, the tires were not centered perfectly like they should be, but they are now. I got non-adjustable lower control arms, and even with the stock sway bar and the aftermarket, or even with the stock torque arm and the aftermarket torque arm, the 275/60/15s are pretty centered in the wheel well without adjustable lower control arms. So a lot of people will tell you that you got to have the adjustable lower control arms when you're running that big of a tire. Me and another guy do it, and the tires are centered, as long as you get your pinion angle right on your rear end there. But and again, the lower control arms, I think those were UMI or BMR. I can't remember who I got those from, but and then the torque arm, as before, it's a Trick Performance, and the only thing missing, not aftermarket, is the sway bar. And like I said, I ordered one of those a long time ago. I think it's been a month and a half now, and it's still yet to ship. But once that ships and I get that in there and a new set of tires, I think this one should be ready to run 10s and good DA for sure. But once I get all that fixed, we'll definitely make some videos of that. But the next thing up is to put a Pro Billet distributor and a Nitrous Mini in the 80 Trans Am, and we're also going to take that out and get it dyno tuned. At the local dyno tuner here that does carbureted motors, and then we'll start spraying them and seeing if we can get both these cars in the 9s on spray. We're hoping for 9s on spray. The 96 Camaro, we're hoping for 10s on motor, and then we're hoping for about 11.5 on motor on the Trans Am, just because of the gear install. But I think the nitrous on that one's probably going to be faster than me on nitrous, because I seem to be running out of gear towards the end of the quarter mile on the nitrous. But we'll keep you all updated and keep sending videos. Have a good one.